You see, the best way for me to put it is I believe that God has given us, you and me, everything to enjoy. He has given us everything to enjoy. He has designed this world to provide us with resources and opportunities and enjoyment that is virtually inexhaustible. And He has given us everything to enjoy. It is ours to use. Food, exercise, religion, relationships, drugs, alcohol, rock and roll, sex. All of these things were given to us to use. But if I abuse them, they become unclean to me. See, the law of use and abuse says God has given us everything to use, but there are some things that I cannot use without abusing them, because everything we have been given to use, we can abuse. Are drugs good? Yeah, drugs are great. Can they be abused? Absolutely. Is food good? Food is great. Can food be abused? Religion is great. Can religion be abused? Can exercise be abused? Can relationships be abused? Can sex be abused? Everything God has given us to use has the capacity to be abused, and it's up to us as spiritual adults to understand where our vulnerabilities are, to say, I can't use that without abusing it. And to recognize that as we are wandering around in this fog, there are some people who can use things that we can't, because they don't have a problem with it. And I can use things that you can't because I don't have a problem with it. I don't abuse it. It's not a problem for me. And those weaknesses are not necessarily flaws in our character. Sometimes they're in our DNA. Sometimes they're functions of who we are. I know a guy who had skin cancer, had melanoma 2 times before he was 40 years old. He had surgeries and radiation and beat cancer twice, beat melanoma twice. Now, when he goes outside, he dresses like a freaking beekeeper. I mean, he wears a floppy hat, he wears long sleeve shirts, he wears long pants. Sometimes he'll even wear gloves. He'll put sunscreen on under his clothes. There are times when I think he's afraid of fluorescent lights. Now, it's one thing for him to recognize I have this vulnerability to melanoma, and so I'm going to be extra careful. It's another thing for him to say, you know what? You should dress like me when you go out, because the sun is evil. The sun will hurt you. And I say, well, yeah, I can be careful, but I don't have the experience that you have. I don't have the vulnerabilities that you have. And you see, that's where we start to collide, when we misuse our freedom, when we abuse rather than celebrate the things God has given us to use. And the way we deal with it is we understand. You do the work. You do the hard work and say, okay, what are things that I have to stay away from? Because I don't know how to do that in moderation. It's like a bag of Oreo cookies. If I eat one, I'm eating them all. It's like a bag of chips. It's a quart of ice cream. I can't just have some. I have to have more. So I have to make sure that I'm honest with myself about that. But I also have to be able to look at you and say, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't go there. I couldn't flirt with that because that would be deadly for me. But I'm glad you can. That's awesome that you have that freedom. So that we celebrate the freedom that we experience and the freedom that God gives others, and we're cautious about our own things. If I decide that it's unclean, then it's unclean for me. It may be fine for you. See,